and welcome to today's video. In this video I will be creating book covers but in Star Stable, so taking pictures in Star Stable to look like the covers of books. And this will be done with minimal editing, so I will be doing some editing in GIMP afterwards, but the smallest amount possible. So most of the editing I do can be done in Star Stable. And so now let's get on with it. So the first book that I will be doing is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, and it's the copy I have at home, so I have the book in front of me right now. This is the 1989 edition, so it's quite an old book. The pages are kind of yellowed and it's a bit battered, but this is the copy I have, so I'm doing the cover of this one. And the horse I have that would best suit the horse on the cover is Saturn, who is my Frisian, so he's already out in his stable, so I will go and get on him. There is no tack on the cover, so I won't need any tack. And the background of the cover is like farmland, and it looks like there's some sort of village in the background with a big tower or some sort of church, so I think Silverglade would be the best place to take the picture, but I'm not sure what part of Silverglade, so I'll go and have a look and I'll see you when I get there. And so we have arrived in Silverglade, and I need to be somewhere that I can see the clock tower, but from kind of a bit of a distance, so I'll first try from the windmill, but I don't know if there'll be too much stuff on the windmill to be able to get a good photo of the horse. Or actually that cliff there looks quite good, so I'll go up there. So if I can get up the cliff, I think it would be an ideal place, but it's harder to get up than it looks. So the annoying thing about horses with special moves is when you're trying to jump out of somewhere you're stuck, they just do the special move instead. But I don't think I can get up that cliff, so I'll try going back to the windmill. And so I think this place isn't that good because you've got the castle in the background, and I mean, I guess actually, yeah, I think this place would be good because it's got, I mean, the castle's kind of similar to the church tower, and then there's the clouds and you can see fields, but I'll need to see if I can get the right camera angle. So the cover of this book is a rearing horse with no rider, so I'll need to go into wild horse mode. And then just do a rear and try to take a picture of it. So looking at when you zoom in to the right amount on the horse, I don't think this is a very good place to take the picture from because you can just see a lot of the village and not many fields, and then the circus tent and stuff. But I think if I can get onto those, maybe those mountains over there, it might be a good place. So I think that this cliff in Fort Pinter is probably the best that I'm going to get. You can just see the clock tower in the background there. So I will try rearing again. So I think that this is the best I'm going to be able to do. It doesn't quite have the stretching fields in the same way, and it does have the castle in the background slightly, but I can crop that out. But I don't think I can get any better than that. So I forgot to say it whilst I was still in Silverglade, but I am now going to put the original cover of the book and my cover of the book on the screen, and comment below what you think and how well I did. So the next book I'm doing is My Friend Flicker by Mary O'Hara, and it's quite hard to tell, but I think that this is the 1990 edition, or it might be the 1989 edition. So it's a chestnut horse with 4 white socks and a blaze trotting over some fields. So for that I'm going to use copper. And so again, this one does not require any tack, and it's in wild horse mode, so I don't need to worry about that. And I think that Silverglade would also be quite a good location for this one as well, so I'm going to go there. So this one is more just flat fields, and it's not really looking out over anywhere, it's just more fields in the background. And the fields are separated by hedges, and we don't really have fields like that in Star Stable, so I think it would be best to use the fields that are separated by walls, and I've got a pretty good idea of where to do this one, so I'm going to go there. There's so many birds and insects. So I think this is quite a good location. It's got the woods in the background and the windmill, but I think that's alright if we can just angle the camera to avoid the hot air balloons. So I need to trot, and I think she's kind of turning in the trot, so I'll try that. And so I think this is alright, but on the cover she kind of has her front hooves off the floor, so I might try going from some different gaits, such as a canter. So I'm finding it quite difficult to get a good camera angle and not have the hot air balloons, so I think I might try going to the Forgotten Fields and seeing if I can get a better picture there. So yes, this looks like a much better place than Silverglade to do the picture. I think this would be quite a good location to do it if I can avoid getting that big rock there in the camera angle. And I think this is the best I'm going to be able to do, because the horse on the cover isn't in the most realistic position anyway. I think that this is the best I'll be able to do, so I will take this picture and then I'll put a before and after picture up here. So I'll put them up now and you can tell me what you think. So the next book I'm doing is Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo. I think this is the 2007 edition. And for this one I will need my darling Joey, who I named after Warhorse, and I did actually try making the cover of Warhorse in Star Stable before when I first got Joey, but I didn't actually use it for anything, and then I made my film Rowanna Redwood, which Joey starred in, and there were some references to Warhorse in it. And I will need a bridle for this one, and because I made it before, I know which bridle kind of matches best, and it's hard to tell because you can only see a tiny bit of bridle or head colour or whatever it is on the cover, but I think this one matches quite well. I will also need a human outfit because there are people on the cover of the book that I will need to edit in. I think I know which jacket to use. I'm not really sure about anything else. So I think this jacket that Rowan gave us definitely suits some of the things on the cover. On the cover they are carrying things, but obviously I won't be able to do that in Star Stable. Then I need to find a hat that matches. And I think this one is a fairly good match, or the best match that I'm going to get. And then I think everything else is kind of fine as it is, but I will take the earrings off and change the hairstyle. And I'm going to go to Sunset Island for this one because there's not really much of a background there, and there's not an awful lot of background on the cover. And so I just pressed the button to get here when I remembered that there's the place in Dundle where you can face your horses so that there's a black background, so I will go there now. I saw on Instagram that if you stand your horse in front of here, you can get them with a black background, but obviously you can't go too close because it'll tell you off for trying to get into a closed off area. So I think if I go, make sure I don't go past this sign, it'll be alright. And this picture is just a close-up of the eye, so I'll just see if I can wait for him to put his head in a good position and then take a picture. And I think this might be quite good, but I might have him standing in the wrong place. Yeah, I need him standing further over. So I think this is quite good, and I will crop it so that it's just this side of his face. I can't get it zoomed in any further than that in Star Stable, so I will have to do that in the editing. There are also the humans in the picture, and they are in various walking positions, so I think I'll just have to walk along and take a few photos, then edit it so that it's got silhouetted people walking along, so I will take those. So I think I've got some good enough pictures there, so I will edit that and put them up here so that you can see it and tell me what you think. And so the first 3 books I did were quite well-known ones. These next 2 are not so well-known. And the first of these 2 books will be The Fire Stallion by Stacey Gregg. And this is the 2018 edition, but it's the only edition, so there's only one existing cover of this book at the moment. And so unlike the other books that I've been doing, for this one I will not be using my own horse, because the horse on the cover of this book is an Icelandic and it looks a lot like Tin Can, and I know I can get to Tin Can if I do the Registering Trail ride, but I will need an outfit for the rider, or not rider, but person standing next to him. You can only see the top half of her body and she's wearing a red hoodie, and I'm not sure if I have any hoodie type clothes. Probably definitely not a red one, but I will do the best that I can. So I think this is the only hoodie I have, and it's kind of white and then something over the top, but I have a couple of red jumpers, but I think that this one would be best even though it isn't red. And then I need to take my gloves off, and then I will change the hairstyle to a longer hair, and I'll probably need a different makeup as well. And so this is a long brown hair, and I have this one. This one is kind of too short really, and I don't really like this one, but I think it is the best match even though it doesn't really look that realistic, so I will use this one. I think that this makeup suits the person on the cover best, so I'll choose this one, and let's go and do the Registering Trail ride. And so I have reached the top of the trail ride, so I will leave Joey here because I don't need him to be in the picture. And I think that Alex and Tin Can are over here. So here is Tin Can. And I think that this background will be alright. It kind of isn't really what's on the cover of the book, but the book is kind of looks like a mixture of watercolours, so I can't really replicate that in Star Stable. And this one will be quite difficult because the girl is supposed to be petting the horse. I will do the best I can to make it look like she is petting him, and for that I will have to use the chat. So she kind of has her hand on his face, but it's the wrong hand. That is not okay. And I guess that's kind of it. She's petting the wrong part of the face. But I think it'll do unless I can find something better. So I think I've actually got it really well there. She's got her hand bent in the right place. If I can just angle the photo so that Lynx isn't in it. And it isn't quite right, and you can see her jumpers a bit, but I think that's the best I'm going to get, and I'm really happy with that. And I think it's my favourite of them, but I might try adding a slight filter, see if I can make it slightly orangey. So I think that's quite good, but I might need to make it red in GIMP. And it also just occurred to me that I forgot to make the Warhorse one black and white in Star Stable, so I'll have to do that in GIMP instead. I will edit, actually I think I won't edit the text onto them, so I don't think I'll worry about doing like the title and the author's name, so I'll just do the content of the cover itself. I'll make it look like the cover, but I won't, like, it won't say the Fire Stallion on it. So I'll put up the original and my one on the screen, and you can tell me what you think. So the next book I'm doing is also not the most well-known of books, and it is A Devil to Ride by Patricia Leach, and it is the second book in the Ginny series. So this is, I think, the 2010 edition. So for this one it is a chestnut Arab mare, so I will get my Arab Cinnamon, Arabian, and I love these books so much. I think I'm rereading them for the third or fourth time at the moment. So here is Cinnamon, and she has a slightly different face marking to the horse on the cover. Her marking goes over her eyes, whereas it doesn't on the horse on the cover of this book, but I think it's alright, and it goes kind of over her nose in the right way. And so this is another one where there is no rider on the horse, and she's just either, you can't really see her legs, but she's either trotting or cantering through some long grass with some trees in the background. And so I'm going to first try in this field over here, but if it isn't a good place, I know where else I can do it. I mean, I quite like that picture actually, but it isn't what's supposed to be on the book. But I will take it because it's a nice picture. So I've got this one, and the background isn't as heavily wooded as it is on the cover of the book, but I think this has come out really well, and I mean, as I've said a few times before, it's probably the best that I'm going to get, but I am going to change the lighting a little bit so that it kind of goes across her back more. I think this is the best match for the cover of the book, so I will take this picture. Since I'm not putting the text on the titles anymore, I'll probably leave that as it is, so I'll put the original and my own one up on the screen now, and as always, you can tell me what you think. So the next book that I will be doing is slightly different to the others. So the first 3 I did were well-known horse books, the next 2 were less well-known horse books, and this one is not a horse book at all, because the book I'm doing is Aragon. And Aragon is a book about a dragon, and Star Stable released dragon horses, so I thought, why not? So I'll get this horse out, and this is the first edition of Aragon, I think, but I don't think it has that many editions. So I think this time I will actually go to Sunset Island and take the picture there, because it's just a close-up of the dragon's face. I love how just everything about this horse in its dragon form. I'm not such a big of a fan of this like normal form, but I love how the tail changes, and I got so distracted by how pretty it is that I ran into the water. But I think the Frisian has such powerful gaits and they really suit the dragon. I like how both horses have their own unique scale patterns, like especially like across their back. They're not just different colours, they're actually slightly different patterns. And it's just a close-up of the face, so I think I'll do it as the horse is turning around. And yeah, that looks like the right angle for the face to be at. And this one is another close-up in similar way to Warhorse. It kind of focuses on the mouth a bit. I mean, Saphira on the cover of Aragon doesn't have horns, and this one does, but we'll have to live with that. This horse is green, and Saphira in Aragon is blue, so I'll have a look through the different filters. That does actually make it kind of blue looking, but I don't think it's blue enough because it still has a bright orange eye. So I think what I will do is use the birch filter and then in GIMP make the whole image blue, and then I will upload the original and my one here, and you can tell me what you think. So that's all for today's video. As I record this, I haven't actually edited the pictures yet, but from the unedited versions, I think that the Fire Stallion was probably my favourite and the most accurate to the book. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!